Good evening, everybody. Welcome to today's section. Today, we are discussing on our beginners project, which we are going to be working with. All right, so you'll be working with Jumia sales performance analysis. So, what we have here is Jumia's data set, sales data set. We have different columns and rows. All right, so we have the following EDAHs: order ID, order dates, customer name, customer type, region, product name, category, quantity, unit price, discount percentage, shipping fee, payment method, sales after discounts, total sales, and lastly customer rating. These are the following EDAHs, column EDAHs we have, and we have 2000 data sets. These are 2000 rows, all right, plus their EDAHs. This is a data set you'll be using to work on this project, and you're working with your team members. We have actually strategized some of you into two groups. We have two groups. All right, let's check that out. These are the groups, and you need to check your name, confirm your name, confirm your unique ID, and you join through this link. This is the group 1 link, WhatsApp group for the face group, and this is the second link for group 2. Then each group we have 12 members in each group, so you have to pick your group leader who actually spearhead this project and organize, coordinate the team work, and also make sure that you guys meet up to the task. Right, so you pick your group leader to represent your group, and also you have to be active in the group. Be active, make sure you are carrying out your tasks as a team member in the group. We are going to assess you, make sure you submit your assignment. So this grouping is based on the participants who have actually gotten their unique ID and also have submitted their week 1 assignment. Now let's go back to the data set again. So what we expect of you is that you do not have to use this data set the way it is. All right, so as the first thing as the data analyst is to check this data set out. You will check it looks more organized, it looks clean, but actually it's not organized and it's not clean. So for instance, let me just pick some few insights here. All right, so looking at the order dates, now Excel does not recognize this as dates. This doesn't look like a date. All right, it begins with the year, the month, and the date. So Excel does not recognize this. It looks like more Excel recognizes this as a text, so you need to change this to a date format. And also check the name, the customer name, and let's go over to the unit price. You know that pricing should be in a currency format, so it does not look like a currency. Excel only recognizes it as a number, okay, just as a value. This discount should be changed to percentage. Remember, we are dealing with discount percentage. Shipping fee should be changed to currency because it actually deals with money and all other aspects. You need to format this customer rating to 1 decimal place, make everything to be organized. All right, so that is what is expected of you. You should first of all clean your data. Now let's go over to the project overview. All right, we have the EDAH's capstone project, which is Jumia sales performance analysis. All right, the objective of this project is designed to help you as a beginner practice real-world data analytics skill using simulated Jumia sales data set. All right, so this data set will help you carry out this project so that you understand how real-world analysis looks like. All right, so the recommended task is firstly perform data cleaning, like I said, and formatting. Make sure your data is clean and is reliable for analysis. Then you analyze total sales by product category, identify top performing products, analyze regional sales performance, compare payment method, analyze customer rating and customer type. You create a dashboard. So at the end of this your project, you need to create an interactive dashboard You need to visualize your findings, your insights, so that we can actually see what the data is saying. You generate insight and recommendation. The tools recommended here is Microsoft Excel. Like we said, we are actually training you on how to use Excel to carry out analysis, so you are expected to use Microsoft Excel for this project. Expected deliverables, we are expected to make sure that the data is clean. You create pivot table, charts and dashboard, business insight, get insight. The main essence as a data analyst is to get insights from this data, and at the end of the day you provide recommendation to Jumia. All right, so these are your expected deliverables: clean data sets, pivot tables, charts and dashboard, business insight and recommendation. And let's look at the tasks we expect from each group. All right, let me go through the project overview. You have been provided with Jumia sales data set containing sales transaction, customers information, product categories, payment method and regional performance data. Your task is to analyze the data set and generate meaningful business insights using Excel tool. Right, section A is data cleaning task. That is your first task as a data analyst. Once you get the data, you make sure you check for this inconsistency. Is the data clean? Do we have duplicates? So you need to first of all carry out data cleaning tasks as a team, not individually but as a team. Okay, you are working with your group members. Check for duplicate records. If any, you remove them because it will affect the insights. And also ensure all column headers are properly formatted. Confirm that all dates are in correct date formats. Check for blank missing values. These are what you are checking for when you are cleaning your data. Verify your numeric column are correctly formatted. If need be, you can create a new column for month, year, day of the week, but if there's no need, you can just keep it. They ensure customer rating are within valid range. So you need to create a range for your customer rating. You should have 0 to 1.5. We have below 2.5 or 2.5 and above, 3.5 and above, 4.5 and above. So you need to know customer, you need to strategize your customer rating into excellent, very good, fair and poor. All right, section B is descriptive analysis. That is, you are actually applying what we call descriptive analytics, like we discussed in our first section, right? That we have 4 types of data analytics: descriptive analytics, we have diagnostic, predictive, prescriptive analytics. So what you are trying to do is to actually understand what happened during the time period. What is the total sales generated? Calculate average sales value. You try to determine the highest single sales transaction and the lowest single sales transaction, so that you know that if actually the data set you have is being affected by an outlier is more like an extreme value. Okay, so you need to know what is your highest single, that is the mode of the single sales transaction. If need be, you can actually find the range, so that you know how well is the difference between the highest sales single transaction and the lowest single sales transaction. Count the total number of orders, how many orders we carry out throughout the time period. Find the total quantity of goods sold. Calculate the average customer rating. This is what we expect of you under descriptive analysis. We have product performance analysis. 1. Identify the top 10 best-selling products for Jumia. Jumia has sell over 20 products. So we need to actually get to know the top 10 best-selling products. So this is your task. Determine the least performing products. Calculate total sales by product category. Which category generates the highest revenue and which product actually generates the highest one, or which of these actually have the highest quantity sold. And also analyze product performance using charts. In section D, we have regional analysis. We are actually trying to analyze the market trend. What is happening in the market region? Which of these regions generate the highest sale which of the region, the market region, is generating the lowest sale. So you calculate the total sales by region, compare customer rating across region. We want to know which region customer are underrating and which of this region customers are actually overrating or actually rating high, so that we actually use these insights to offer or provide strategic recommendation. All right, and create a regional sales dashboard. This will be part of your interactive dashboard. Section E, what you are doing here is the customer analysis. You are going to analyze the sales between new customers and returning customers. You try to find which customer type generates more revenue and analyze customer rating by customer type. We want to know how well the new customers are actually rating Jumia services, and also we compare that with the returning customers, and also you determine the customer purchasing behavior pattern. Section 8, you are analyzing the payment method. All right, what you are doing is to identify the most used payment method by customers. You compare the total sales by payment method. By this, you actually know which payment method is mostly used by the Jumia customers. You also analyze which payment method generates the highest revenue. You visualize this using charts. It should be part of the interactive dashboard. The section G is time-based analysis. You analyze monthly sales trend. You want to know which month is actually generating the highest sales and which month is underperforming or having declines in sales, that is the lowest sales. And also analyze sales trend by days of the week, or you can actually do it quarterly. If you want to know which quarter is actually generating, where we have high peak sales and low peak sales, so we want to know this information so that we know which recommendation is reliable for Jumia. All right, so section H is dashboard tasks. This is what we expect from you. You have to create an interactive sales dashboard showing total sale, total order, top product, regional sales, monthly trend, customer rating. All right, so your dashboard should be very simple. You should not try to use 3D charts. Make it use simple charts, okay, and create your dashboard. Make it interactive and make it well organized. And you need to add sliders so that we can actually get insight. The sliders you should add is regional, product, category, payment method, customer type. These are the first sliders you should add into your interactive dashboard: region, product, category, the payment method, and customer type. Now section 1 now is discussing on business insights and recommendation. I told you that as a data analyst, that your last task as a data analyst is to offer recommendation to your stakeholders so that they can use it as to make a business driven decision. All right, so you need to get insights from your analysis. Okay, how do you get insights from your analysis? Is from your interactive dashboard chart. You get to know what is happening in the business. So we need you to list out 3 key business insights from your analysis. Provide at least 5 recommendations to improve sales performance. You are solving a problem as an analyst, so you should be able to offer good recommendation. Identify possible business challenges from the data set. Suggest strategies to improve customer satisfaction, and prepare a final presentation and report summarizing your findings. So your final presentation would be, you'll be using PowerPoint for your presentation, and your summary, your business insights, your recommendation, you are using Word documents. You are going to document it, okay, and submit it in a Word document. All right, and your presentation would be done using PowerPoint so that we can actually flow with you guys. All right, so these are the aspects we are looking at in this project. Then we have bonus tags for you. It's very optional. You need to create KPIs. It's very important. KPI cards for total revenue, average sales, customer, total customers, and the total quantity. So KPIs actually means key performance indicator. It helps us to track the performance of the business over time. All right. So also build a professional dashboard design. I said that your dashboard should be very simple. Compare category performance over time. So we have different categories, so you need to compare their performance over the time, over the years, and create a storytelling presentation from your analysis. As an analyst, you need to be able to tell story with your analysis, with your insights. So you should be able to flow with you. You should use the appropriate charts stand for your analysis, and you should be able to use it to tell story with your presentation. You know that your stakeholders, they might not actually understand what data is saying, but if you are able to use charts to demonstrate your interactive dashboard to tell the story what is happening in the business, it will be very insightful. All right, this is the overview of your project. So I encourage you to work as a team member, work with your group members, and execute this tasks, because at the end of this training you'll be certified. Like I said, you'll be certified as a data analyst, a beginner data analyst who have covered a beginner's project, that is your capstone project, and I've gone through 1 month training. All right, and make sure we have already begun in payment for certification. All right, endeavor you subscribe to that before deadline. All right, see you in our next class. Thank you.